Want to grow your firm's capacity without the overhead of adding headcount? Bill empowers your team to shift their focus from financial cleanup to strategic client success. With exception-based AI workflows and automated invoicing that gets you paid up to 2 times faster, you can scale your firm while delivering more value to every client. Partner with the solution chosen by over 9,000 accounting firms. Start growing at bill.com/grow today. Plus, get a $250 gift card when you take a demo. Terms apply. Oh, I got some juicy news for you. Profit First app version 2.0 is here. With an enhanced user experience and video guidance throughout, you can now be even more confident in your Profit First implementation. Plus, listeners who work with a certified Profit First professional get extra benefits. Check it out now at www.profitfirstapp.com.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice, and you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now,
on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ron Saharian, co-founder of Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Liz Sporn, a guide here at Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Mike Michalowicz, author of Profit First. And guess what? You're listening to GMAP, stands for Grow My Accounting Practice. We are here to teach you the step-by-step on exactly that, how to grow your practice if you're a bookkeeper, if you're an accountant, or a coach.
Awesome, guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find us on any podcatcher out there. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Most personal finance systems fail because they ask people to behave in ways that don't match real life. The Money Habit takes a different approach. It works with how people already interact with money, using their bank accounts to create clarity and control without budgets or guilt. We created the Certified Money Habit Mentor designation to give financial professionals a way to guide clients using the system in real life. As a Certified Money Habit Mentor, you become the trusted guide when personal money stress starts affecting business decisions and confidence. Applications are now open for a limited group of Certified Money Habit Mentors. Learn more at moneyhabitmentors.com.
There we go. They can sink their teeth into it.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so Ron, for our audio listeners,
my gosh.
Ron
You've been
has
waiting
like
for that for weeks.
I have
that tooth. Where's that tooth from? It's a massive shark tooth, or
This is a megalodon tooth off of North Carolina. So this is one of the megalodon teeth that I have.
and
The other one is a necklace. So I made a necklace. And so my nickname is Meglaron now when I'm down to the shore.
Megalodon.
That's what you could have answered for the last question. What would you change your name to? Meglaron. Dang.
Oh, yeah. True.
I love that you Voxered that. Whenever I get a Voxer from you, I get nervous. Like, what did I do wrong? And then you look at it and it's a picture of a shark tooth. You're like, what is happening?
So you've been with us for 6, 7, 8, 9, 100 years now. Have I ever Voxered you something that was actually like
Jerry?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
There could be a day. There could be a day.
It could be
Just always stay on my toes, Ryan. You keep me on my toes. You should be glad because the alternative is I don't even listen to your voices.
You guys get, a little bit of insider access on Saturdays and Sundays when I'm going, flea marketing for Megalodon.
I was going to say never mind. Dumpster diving is what I wanted to say.
A megalodon tooth.
Oh boy.
How do you procure something like that? Do you have to go to I assume that's not a real one. I assume that's a preserved or a cast of one, or is that a real?
It's a real one. So
seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a real megalodon.
I can't believe that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a small one. This might be an upper or lower. I forget. But, people die for these off of North Carolina. That's where the hotbed of them are, that area. And so literally you can bid on these. There's auctions for these things.
Oh my goodness.
I was thinking of making a whole mouth, a whole big jaw, megalodon mouth. Be expensive though.
Yeah, you'd be a bankrupt Ron, but you have a dinosaur at least.
So
Mary would love it.
I'll make you one, Mike. We'll rock the Jersey Shore with Captain Ron.
Boy.
The visual's hysterical.
Oh boy.
Here's how I'm going to tie it in is if any accountant wants to achieve that kind of financial wealth where they can build their own dinosaur, they need to exit properly. So we're going to talk about exit planning today. Tyson Ray is joining us. He is a veteran financial advisor. He's the author of Total Succession and creator of the Space Framework. He's on a mission to help financial professionals exit their practices with confidence while keeping their clients' interests first. And we're going to talk about exactly how you do that right now with Tyson Ray. Welcome to our show, Tyson.
Oh my.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
Excited to have this
welcome.
conversation.
Yeah.
Exit plan. I often hear that people's exit plan is abandonment. Like they're not really prepared for it. First question I have for you is, when do you start your exit planning?
Yeah, part of the whole purpose of the book is to change the negativity, I think, that most business owners have around exit planning, because they think it's the end, it's the finish, it's over. I got to, and we forget that the exit door is into something new. You can exit into something. The reality is that, especially for the accounting professionals listening to this, you have people that are counting on you, families that are counting on you, businesses that are counting on you. And when you have a business that has relationships, that's when you need to start thinking about your succession, your exit, your plan, because none of us are guaranteed to be here. And I think the urgent crowds out the important. We get so focused on helping other people, we don't help ourselves. Kind of like the whole profit first, right? Take the money, get your profit out first and running the business. It sets you up for success. Make sure you have a succession plan and an exit defined, or it's going to get defined for you.
When should an accounting firm be talking to their customers about this?
That's a good question. I think when it gets rolled out to the customers, I think is I think I have two answers to that. First and foremost, the answer to that is when the accounting, I think it's a fit here. So if the accounting practice is one accountant and staff, and you've been doing it for a while and you have these relationships, again, what I found in doing some of this research is the clients are wondering what happens to you, what happens, right? And so having an answer to that brings the peace of mind and the reassurance that we want our clients to have, so they know, right? This is what's going to happen. This is what happens in my records. Like someone else could pick up where you left off. So I think communicating, that's why you have a team. That's why you brought on this other junior CPA, or why you have this partnership, or why you acquired this other location, is all part of the benefit to the client that you have backup and have a succession. Separately, and this is more common, I think, you're long in the tooth.
Well done.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good throwback.
There. You're a little long in the tooth, and you're sticking around, and God bless you. There's succession plans. You're going to die at your desk. You're going to do it as long as you can, and that's fantastic. However, as you get into your 60s, maybe 70s, and maybe beyond, your clients also, maybe being that age, are wondering, are you going to retire in their retirement? And communicating to them what the succession plan is, so that it doesn't need to be a surprise. And the more you can plan it out, and that's what I want to talk about with that space framework, the better you can communicate to the clients, and the more everybody can understand what the plan is, so we don't have to wonder or worry.
That is so true, because, we're all getting a little long in the tooth, right? And I know my financial advisor sold, which I was like, oh, he's retiring. What does that mean for me? Our accountant is older than me. He's going to be retiring, I'm sure, soon. I'm like, who's going to take care of me? Because I'm not far behind them, but I'm far enough behind them to be scared if they're not going to be taking over my stuff, and what's going to happen on the transition.
Yep. That's part of that space framework that we're going to get to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's dive into that, because I, as Ron was saying that, I think that's one of the biggest pieces that so many people overlook. All we care about, unfortunately, all our clients care about, is what's in it for me. Yeah. How will this impact, affect, benefit, or, devastate me? And many people don't have a good answer for that until the person's right in front of them, and they're like, oh, well, it'll be fine. That's not good enough. So how do you help with that kind of piece? I feel like it could be live in the prepare section, but tell us about this space framework, please.
Yeah, so it first started with just, I'm a student teacher, which means as I learn things, I love to teach what I've learned. And so I had to
Mm.
go through my own journey of what is my succession plan. And in my practice, I was getting bored with just the normal financial advisory stuff. So I went and got a certification in exit planning. And then there's two designations that are out there in that space. So I got one in 2018 and decided to get the other one a couple years later, just different language, same concept. But the idea behind it, the idea behind the space framework is, first and foremost, you need to make space in your calendar, your time, to even think about what you're going to be doing. And in the busyness of our lives and filling up our calendars and chasing, you don't have time or the energy to really process what is it that you're going to do. So you got to create space in your calendar. And then in having that space in your calendar, you need to have space in your head, allow yourself to be able to focus on this. And what are you going to focus on? And that's funny because I was thinking, I just don't make the space to focus on this. And it's just like, well, if I did, what would I focus on? And I looked at the word space because I written it down. And I was just like, well, it's, what do you see? What do you see in the future of your business? Is there a point you want to exit? Is there a point you want to get out? What do you see? Could you transition in such a way that you could leave your clients better off? Like, that's a humbling, like, check your ego at the door. Like, wouldn't that be the goal? Like, wouldn't it be that, Ron, your advisor retired and 5 or 10 years later, you could bump into him again because he's a friend or you know him or whatever. And you get to say, thank you, right? What would that look like? Right? What do you see that looking like? By the way, there's people in your life that have loved you and tolerated you and dealt with you and made sacrifices for you to have this business. And now what do they see you exiting into? And what do they want to do with you? And as you get clarity around what you're seeing, and it's like the reason I said see is because, if you can visualize it, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's a heck of a lot more than trying to write it out, but can you visualize what it is? And as you start defining that, start talking to your loved ones about it, start talking to your team about it. What do they see? It starts taking form that then lets you start realizing, okay, what do I need to be preparing? That's the P in space, to make what I saw a reality. One of the things we have to realize is that if we were good at this, we would have done it already. So a lot of the preparing is starting to come up with things that other people need to do. It's probably not you that's going to be doing some of this. It may be actually hiring another accountant to help you with the accounting because you suck at doing your own, or hiring legal counsel, or hiring a financial advisor, hiring an exit coach, hiring someone to help you drive the value or the profit first in your business, right? What do you see? And now what do you need to be preparing? Once you create your preparing list, who are you hiring to go act on these things? And what do you need to act on? And up to this point, I want to say that's the easy part, but a lot of people can do that. And there's people out there and there's sources out there to help you with that. The rest of the space concept is this. There becomes a point where you need to commit to what you want long-term, not what you want to do today. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to start doing more of? Because that's what actually gives you energy, and you might stick around another decade if you were doing the thing. Like, I feel we're an Energizer bunny, like we're battery. Like, life gives you energy or sucks the life out of you. And what I found and been told, and I now believe, is that there's actually people that love the things that suck the life out of me. Like, that gives them energy. You wouldn't think so, right? Because everybody's just like me, so they would all hate that. Oh, no, wait, you could hire someone that loves that, and they take that off your plate, and that may give you energy to do more things. Committing to change, committing to allow this process to play out, committing to it takes time to make your vision become a reality, what you saw become part of your life, so that you can exit, with exit being stepping into what you saw, stepping into what is now better, stepping into what you enjoy more of, that the exit actually becomes enjoyment. And it's a framework that it's a way of thinking. It's a way of bringing others around you to define, I believe, that your best succession, if you're listening to this, the answers you have to ask yourself, or you have to have others ask you the questions. And the space framework just starts asking some of those questions or helping you think in some of those ways to flush out what is the best succession for you.
I got a question, because this is what I think I heard is contrary to what I have done, and I wonder if I did this wrong. I had an exit, and mum was the word from day one. So we were negotiating the transaction. I had a legal team involved. It was an exit to a Fortune 500, and it was absolute silence on both sides. Only once the legal work was done and we were acquired, then they had the drip campaign of educating customers after the transaction. But I think I heard actually it's better prepare before the transaction, or is that not the case?
Yeah. So going back to what you saw there in the book talks about this. I wrote the book for the financial services industry, but it's pretty agnostic when you get to exit and succession planning, because basically you have internal, right? It's someone in the team. It's a junior partner. It's someone within the firm or within a partner firm or whatever. And then you have your external, and then you have your integrators and your aggregators. And so what you're talking about, Mike, is that you had an external transaction.
Right.
So if you saw the best solution, and for some there is, to have an external transaction, in seeing that, part of the preparing part is going to come from who that external partner is. Because to your point, certain partners are going to, or certain solutions are going to come with a prepared list.
Right.
That makes sense.
But it sets up the expectations that you know those things and what you can and cannot say, because you're correct, especially on the publicly traded and the NDAs and all the things that go into, you can't run your mouth. But you could on the front end talk to your team about, is it internal or external? You can on the front end talk to your spouse about, or partner, is it internal or external? Do I want to try and do this internally, or do I want to let this go? And do I want to let this flourish with other resources coming in that I don't have?
How long do these transactions take? I mean, I'm sure it all depends, but is there a normal trajectory? Do internal transactions happen within weeks or months? Is it faster? Do externals typically take longer? Any guidance there?
I would say internals take the longest because you got to build the team.
Yes.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but it's also knowing that.
Yeah.
The mistake people make is they want to do an internal transaction in the next year or two, and you didn't tell your team. You didn't know if your junior person even wants to do it.
Yeah.
Do they even want the debt? Do they even want to run the company? Do they want to kill the bugs and make sure the lights work? Did they sign up for that?
Yeah.
Do they want you to not be there? So that's its own can of worms. What I can tell you is that the shorter the time to you wanting to exit, or said differently, the lack of planning that you've done, the more stressful it is and the more risk you're taking. Usually from start to finish, you're talking anywhere from 6 to 9 months. If you're it's the other part you have to remember is this takes time out of your time. So it's like, you're going to try and go pull this off. You got to shut down your business basically, yet you still got to keep it going to try and get this thing sold. 6 to 9 months on the quick end, better done in a year or two.
Wow.
So let me say we're selling our accounting firm, and we've decided to keep mum's the word, but inevitably it gets out. How do we manage that?
It goes back to this, and this is the best part of where, if we're trying to accomplish what's better for the client, it messages itself.
Or even the staff.
It can message itself. If part of what we see is a solution that we want the people that helped us make the profits and make the company successful be able to have the job opportunities or stick around, we can, in that plan, see ourselves giving them some incentive compensation, some other things to give them some runway and some security that they know they're there. And yet there are some plans that it's just for what's best for the client, or what's best for you, or for what you saw. It's a transaction, and their employment in some cases may not even happen again. It depends who the acquirer is. And that goes back to the internal succession is very different from the external, because the external successions often come with some of these preparing and acting and committing that are being dictated to you because they're the buyer.
Have you seen or situations where something has gone to sale and then inevitably it doesn't, and the owners retain it? How do you move forward? With if you kind of shared, and your customers think this is happening, but it's not now happening. Your staff thinks it's happening, but now it's not necessarily happening.
Yeah, it came out in our podcast after the book was written. It's like everything else. Once you read the book, then you really know what you should have said.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
Yeah, you needed a lawyer before you needed a lawyer. Right?
Yeah.
One of those.
Right. But I've said since that as a business owner, profit first, not to hit that again, but it's such an important point. If you can steward your wealth like you were an employee, so you quote unquote don't have to sell, like selling your business isn't going to change your lifestyle, your nest egg, because the mistake you make is if you leave all the profits in the business and you reinvest it all and you drive it up, then that little bugger's got to sell for a premium because that's all your wealth. But if you can do it in such a way, it blew my mind. But we had an accountant in the local town, been practicing for 40 years, just sent letters out, said, I'm done. I'm not selling it to someone else. I can't find a place where I think you're going to be better served. Here's a list of some of the accountants he reached out to that said, go find someone else. And he just shut his doors, donated the building to the local church as a write-off. So it's like, and he did that because he had stewarded his wealth so well. He didn't need to sell it, and he didn't want to go through the pain, because there is this relational part of, you have these people in your life for years upon years. You care about them. You're going to be in the local community. You're going to go to church or the sailing club, or you'll see them at the golf course, and you're just worried about who's going to take care of them the way you did. And in this case, he just decided what he saw was an exit where it's just like, I'm good. And I don't want to take the risk of selling it. So that's one extreme.
Yeah.
I've seen other scenarios where I've witnessed and interacted with other advisors and other people that we interviewed in this process, that it was an external succession and they came in, and the risk is that it's enticing, but the more money they give you, the more they're going to try and find profits by cutting costs. The biggest costs they cut are those employment costs, those team costs. That they came in, he got the check, and they did the clients signed up and all rolled over. And then one by one, his team got cut down, that it was basically him and one person and not the 10 that used to be in the office. And stuff's getting outsourced because, quote unquote, that's more efficient. But again, when you sell to an external third party, you lose control of all those decisions, which is part of the big commit. And then be careful, because if you put those earnouts in, you now put stress on yourself to try and grow revenues in ways that you ran your business for years that you didn't worry about. Do I have to have a 10% growth rate for the next 3 years? And do the right thing for the client to get that. That now, if you have millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars tied to that, you all this have the stress at the end of your career to try. It's just like, these are all trade-offs to more money's not more happiness. It's not necessarily more contentment. It's not saying you can't have more. But keep the client's interest first. How do you leave your clients better than you found them? And if things come up, like you said, somebody finds out, it's just like, this is why this is good.
You are obviously, as you said, a certified exit planner. You do this, you spend a lot of time doing it. We know that people aren't necessarily working with you for years before that. And they might be doing financial investing things with you. But for our accounting, bookkeeping firm owners, they tend to start some of this work. I mean, our members are doing profit first and advisory and CFO services and things like that. But how can accountants and bookkeepers set up their clients to then hand off to someone like you a beautiful package? So like, if you had an ideal client walk through the door and you're like, this is going to be awesome, what would you see that they walk in with?
So to clarify, is this an accounting firm coming to me wanting to walk?
It's a client. It's somebody who's coming to you, but you're saying, oh my gosh, everything you just showed me is amazing. This is going to be such a fun sale. I get to walk into this relationship with you. Like, what would it look like if you said that? What would you be seeing? Profitability, clarity in bank accounts, owner playing.
First of all, I was thinking, I'm like, well, that wouldn't be any fun. I love the problem. Like, if they come in and
and that might be true too. So you might be like, no thanks, I don't want that. That could be fine too.
That's too easy to sell. Too easy to sell.
Give me a difficult one. This is too easy. Sell yourself.
I think it goes back to that they have clarity that they want to be done.
Okay.
What is it? Is it is either, for some, it's an age. They defined it years ago. When I hit this age, I want to be done, or their spouse has told them what the age is. It's an income level. If I gather enough assets, or I have enough debts paid off, or I've built enough wealth, it's that. If they are planning or they're thinking ahead, it's family events. I just had a buddy of mine that for years was like, I'm not selling. He held his grandson. He's like, I'm done. And what's interesting to me about that is that part of coaching or planning, it's just like, you you had a kid, you grew the kid, you got the kid to college, you got the kid married. Somewhere in there, did you not think that grandkids are coming? Did you not think, because he rushed his sale and regretted it, but he's playing with a grandkid, so it's a trade-off. But it's just like, but there's life events that cause you to want to be done. And then the real risk for most people is they don't realize that time is a resource you only get so much of. And you may stay at your desk because you wanted to or you thought you did too long to not necessarily make that much more money, to then lose the time to go and enjoy all which you had worked for. So why are they going to be done? Can they be done? Can they stop being the business owner? Can they stop being the leader? Can they stop being the mentor? Can they stop being the head accountant? Because there's a lot of ego tied into the ownership and control
Amen.
of the business, and it's an impact. Rightfully so. You made a great difference in people's lives. That's fantastic. But are you ready to be done? Are they ready to let you be done?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not, or if you're not, you're never going to get there.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, I feel that a lot. I was talking about this morning with somebody who was helping. She is an exit planner as well, and she was working on an exit plan with her client, and it didn't go well, and it didn't end, and because they didn't think, what was the first one? The see what you want to look like, and she started, I think, probably act. And they all of a sudden were like, I don't want to do this. I'm too scared. I can't do it. I can't leave. I'm going to break the community. I'm going to break the business. And they ultimately ended up terminating her because they're like, I don't want to do it. And it was devastating because they hadn't done that work. So this is really insightful for that. Cool.
Go ahead.
I
was going to say, how valuable is profit and it just in general, like profit in terms of valuing a business? Is it the creme de la creme? Is it the number one thing that people are looking for?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
I think impact, culture, the loyalty of clients is a big part of that too.
Okay.
I think a lot of buyers are looking for the companies that didn't figure out the profit. Right.
Looking to
The ones that came in is like, wait a second,
rents.
if you added this investment or spent money here, you would drive revenue there. You didn't see it, or value adds, or bolting on other services. The profit, though, said different. You didn't say it this way, but I think that was a great way of answering that. The profit drives the value. The more profit you have, reoccurring bottom line, growing up, trending up and to the right, the more your company's worth. The other thing you have to remind yourself in listening to this is you don't have to sell your business. You can work yourself into just being a business owner.
Yeah.
You can work yourself into just enjoying the few clients that you want to walk the rest of life together while you can, there becomes a point where you can take your profit and invest it, so you can invest it back into your business to free you up to have a better life while you still can have profits.
Turn it into an annuity, right?
Correct.
Profit first. Open up a founder's bank account, right?
Yep.
You're the founder. You're not doing much. Let's get that 10, 20, 30, whatever the company can support, and that's your annuity. Maybe your partner.
Yeah. And one of the ways I go about it is and that's why the SPACE framework works, is to flush out, Liz, to your example. It's like, I want to flush out the person that they don't know. And it's okay if you don't know. That's the beautiful thing. But what I don't want is I try and this is how I work in the financial services space as well. But with the succession exit clients, I try to find every reason why they shouldn't sell the business. Down to, okay, you can get $10 million. You can get $10 million for your business. Well, look from your profits, you can actually go get a $10 million loan if it's this many years and this amortization, and you need to pay the taxes, and you pull it out. And would you do that? Or do you want to be done? Like, you just try and solve the finances in different ways to find, do you want to be done? Yeah. Does your significant other want you to be done? Because they have a say in this, more than I think a lot of people give them credit. And my preference when we start the first meeting of planning is we have both of them spouses sitting down.
Right.
Business owner plus the significant other, because God knows my wife is my life, and she lets me go crush it And at the same time, she sits down on planet Earth with a string attached to my kite. And every now and then she tugs on that. And I'm thankful she does. But they have a say in what you're doing.
Yep.
Tyson, we are at time.
Wow.
Thank you for these insights. Where should our listeners go next if they want to engage your services or learn more about what you're doing?
Well, I think they need to go and become a member.
Nice. Of Profit First Professionals. Yes, they
the
do.
Profit First Professionals.
And
Now, they
then-
might want to, the Money Habit Mentor, they might look at that.
Yeah.
As far as succession planning and Total Succession, you got totalsuccession.com is the website. If you want to plug in with me, it's Tyson Ray at LinkedIn's the most easiest way to do that. The books on Amazon, the podcasts are where you get your podcasts. Just thank you for having me on so we could try and help give some perspective that your succession and your exit can be an exciting, enjoyable experience that's worth pursuing.
Love it.
Books on Amazon right now. Came out this January. It is current
it's a new
knowledge.
baby.
Yeah.
A new book, baby. Pick up Total Succession by Tyson John Ray right now. Tyson, thanks for joining us today.
Nice job.
Appreciate you guys.
Tyson. Woo.
Woo, all right, we got to recap what we learned. We got to do our trippy question, insider access, and GMAP Now task all within 5 minutes or more. What, Ron, why don't you go first? I think last week Liz went first. What was your takeaways?
Yeah. You know what? I really like the mindset of a business owner transitioning out by thinking, how can I leave my customers better off?
Yeah.
How can I leave my staff better off? The goal is to leave the staff and the customers in better hands. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Totally. Yeah, I love that.
Liz, how about you?
I loved the also it was a mindset one. It was the exiting into something. And I think, exiting scares people, just like we were talking about. Do I really know what I want to do? What is it going to look like? And so to be able to visualize that as a stepping into something beautiful, something safe, something calming, something successful, and allowing you to really, I like how he puts a lot of thinking into that first piece to give yourself space to make better decisions. I love that.
Yeah. I shared a story before, but when Tyson was talking, it just started bubbling up again. I sold my second business in the early 2000s to this Fortune 500, and embarrassingly, I went after the money. It was all about top dollar, top spender. Did not think about the clients, and it started this cascade of horrible events. Sold the business, and then what happened was we were in conflict because we were in the forensic space, legal space, and this Fortune 500 acquirer is serving all these clients. So all these cases that we had, they were now in conflict. They already had touched on work with the opposition or that existing client. And so they had to exclude the case. We lost $7 million in revenue within 1 year. And we were a $7 million company. Went from 7 million to Zippo because of conflict or near Zippo.
Mike.
Wow.
And I had no understanding how to manage money. It took me 15 years to recover. 7 years of debt recovery from 2008 to 2015, just to recover out of debt. It was devastating. And it's all because I didn't consider the longevity of the client. So I've never heard an exit specialist talk about anything except for maximizing dollars. So this was perhaps one of the most profound interviews we've had in a while for me.
Cool.
We want to know your takeaway too. So when you rate and review the show, put it in there.
Yeah.
What's the trippy question for today?
Oh, well, that's a lot less deep than that conversation.
I learned that there's teeth to go diving for on the East Coast.
Exactly. That was
make
impactful.
millions.
That was super impactful for Tyson. So my question is, if you could appear on any game show, what would you choose?
I would do, what was that couples one that they don't have it anymore, but back in the day,
A newlywed show.
Newlywed Show. Yeah. That'd be fun.
That's a good one.
It probably wouldn't work out so well.
I got mine.
Go ahead.
Press your luck. Whammy.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that one. No
man.
whammies, no whammies, no
No
whammies.
whammies.
No, wait, no whammies.
I almost said that,
I'm
but
good
mine
at
is a
that.
tie between the Gong Show and $25,000 pyramid.
Oh, I
Because
love those. These are all
I
classic.
have over the years won millions of dollars. Can I beat anyone on that show every single time?
I want to go on Survivor. I want to go on
There you
Survivor.
go.
That may not
That's
be
a
a game
fun one.
show.
No,
That
it
counts.
counts.
You go to
It counts.
Survivor.
Yeah, that counts. That's a good one. I do play when we're traveling. I play The Amazing Race with whoever I'm travel with. so we can.
Well, you try to
always-
board the plane faster than everybody.
We try to look for everything. I want to like know where we're going, remember everything. So when, just in case someone's like, Liz, you have to get here in 2 minutes. I'm like, got it. Let's go.
You know, be a fun spoof is just bring a third friend that's running with a camera next to you and just see what access you get. Like you're this is for Amazing Race. I bet you get like the presidential suite at a hotel.
It's
Totally.
it's the carrying the ladder theory.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Just
It's
carry
a-
the ladder.
Yeah,
right,
these
never mind.
guys carried the ladder into sports events and just like they own the place and just
Oh.
would walk right in, or it's just a theory that
They
you
don't
know,
have to get a ticket. Got it. Roger.
So I
that.
actually thought you were referring to something else.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
All right, thank
Mike's
you
right.
guys.
But yeah, Mike is right. I was referring to something else, but I used that to Liz.
Now we can
understand.
end the show. Ron said Mike was right.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show is done forever. All right. So why don't we go over to Ron with his insider access?
All right.
Yes,
This
please.
is something that we're doing here that you should do in your business, or maybe you want to do it. And here's the thing, your business isn't as much as you think it is. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Okay. Your business is not what you think it's worth. So what do the smart business owners do? Well, they go through a professional valuation. They want to see how much their business is worth at any given point in time. It's not necessarily for a sale, but it's to have a good understanding of what you need to work on from an outside perspective who's might be valuing your company down the road. It is your cheat sheet to get to the next level. So if you haven't done a valuation in 10 years, 15 years, certainly do one. Might open your eyes.
Nice.
Boom, 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 boom. I'll give
Boom.
you GMAT now task. One task you do, you will see results. This is very New Jersey of me. So Ron and Liz, you'll get this. There is a way to exit. It's a chop shop technique. There used to be a barbershop here on Main Street in Boonton, Nick's Barbershop. Remember that place? And one day I was talking to him. He's like, I'm exhausted. I don't know how much longer I can do this. 2 days later, the business was closed. And literally clients like me were going to the barbershop going, where's Nick? Well, what he could have done is chop shop it. If you are exiting and you need money and you're exhausted and you got to leave right away, you could sell off the clients. You can go to some barbers and say, hey, I'd like to refer clients to you. You could sell off your assets to other groups. It's not a way to maximize your money. And maybe it's not even the best of service to the client, to Tyson's point, but desperate people sometimes do desperate things and there's still an opportunity to monetize. So chop shop is an option.
Awesome, guys. Nice job, Mike. Nice job, Tyson. Thank you very much. Listeners, thank you. Don't forget to review and subscribe to the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast. And what else, Liz?
And if you would like to learn more about this beautiful community of Profit First Professionals, I encourage you to go to profitfirstprofessional.com, click on that Become a Profit First Professional button. That'll route you to the calendar to get a nice conversation with Ron or with me to learn a little bit more about how you can increase profitability, increase advisory, and just have a heck of a lot of fun. So profitfirstprofessionals.com, everybody. Thank you.
See ya.
Have a great day.